This is Into Beats 106.5 FM. Hello, this is Amy Botes here from PEPPED Productions again. How's it all going with you? I hope you're all enjoying yourselves. Following on from the last few weeks, I'll be carrying on this week with my series on personal impact. So for those of you who missed it, last week we concentrated on how we can centre our breath. And by doing that, we power our voice, give clarity to our thoughts, and calm our nerves. And so this week we're going to be thinking about our habits and whether they're getting in the way of us communicating effectively. So a little bit more about me, just in case you missed me last week. I'm a professional RADA-trained actress and communication coach, and my coaching methods are all based on how an actor prepares for a role. I train people to use acting techniques to transform their reality and lead them to become a better version of themselves. We use physical, vocal, and mental exercises to literally take a person from Clark Kent to Superman. And this is the fourth in a series of 8 programs where I'll be sharing my top tips on personal impact, how we can create it, how we can sustain it, and what steps you need to take to make sure you're creating the maximum personal impact. So let's have a little think about habits. We all have them, but the variety I'm talking about include the physical, mental, and vocal habits that inhibit us and prevent us from getting our message across when we're communicating. So let's start with physical habits. How many of us have bad posture? I know I do, but this is something relatively simple to solve, actually. Actors use a technique called the Alexander technique, which helps you get back to a neutral state, akin to when we were babies and we hadn't learned any bad habits. And the principle of the technique is to use as little effort as possible to achieve any physical movement. It also asks you to align your body so that you're more centered. So let's do a quick whistle-stop tour through the Alexander technique, and you can try it out. You can find out more on my YouTube channel, which you'll find under Amy Botes, which is AMYBOTES. But let's just do it quickly. So starting with your feet, make sure you're evenly distributing your weight and feel gravity pulling you down. Then allow your knees to soften and your hips to sit into the seating bones and not be pushed forward. And then allow your shoulders to widen with no slouching or tightening. And imagine you have a string on the top of your head, which is sending it forwards and upwards so that your spine lengthens. And this will open you up and bring you back to a state of neutral. So anytime you feel you're slipping back into old habits, just follow those instructions and correct your posture. Now let's have a think about your vocal habits. Many of us have vocal tics that are really distracting or just plain annoying. I know one of mine is that I say like a lot. So what about your vocal tics? It could be anything from being too softly spoken, to being too loud, or not articulating sufficiently. It might be worth doing a quick voice memo on your phone as a test and listening back to it. Is there anything you can see immediately that's getting in the way of you communicating well? How about mental habits? If you're anything like me, you tend to overthink, which can lead to you becoming nervous. But there are many mental habits that get in the way of us communicating a message clearly. We might be intimidated by certain tasks or people. We might be overcritical of ourselves. We might be a little bit scatterbrained. Whatever's getting in the way, acknowledge it and make one small change in your thinking that will make a difference. For me, I try to reassure my brain that nothing terrible is going to happen and that I just need to go for it, whatever the outcome. You can listen back to this segment on my website, which is www.peppedproductions.co.uk. And if you have any comments or you want to share something, please don't hesitate to follow me on Twitter at WeArePepped, or check us out on Facebook, where we're listed as PEPPED Productions, and you can use the hashtag #WeArePepped. This is coming from Into Beats 106.5 FM.